So, I had seen Don't Worry Darling over the opening weekend, and it was not that good. I want to start by saying that this is my own opinion. I want to state that for everyone, because I know that this movie personally upsets me, but looking at it objectively, I know that it's not a bad film, and that it is trying here. So for that, I will try and keep this review unbiased as possible, but just know that I personally didn't enjoy it or was too crazy about it myself. I want to go ahead and start with the good stuff, because this movie does do some good stuff. On its own, the film does a good job building up a narrative and pacing out its own story. And I'm not blind, obviously Florence Pugh's doing a massively great job in her role, but the rest of the movie just sort of felt mid. I know I said I was going to focus on the good stuff, but the good stuff is just kind of spoiled here a little bit. Like, the presentation is good a lot of times, but they show a lot of the same sequences over and over again. You just get bored. The original and composed music here is really good, but you don't get as much of it because there's just licensed songs smothered across the first third of the movie. I know that this movie is setting the scene for a 50s utopia, but the songs just overstay their welcome way too often. The best way that I would describe what's happening in the movie here to anyone else is, here is this star of the movie, and they are just making the story and character work their own, but everything else surrounding her, the supporting characters, the love interest, and the atmosphere are sort of downplaying everything to just feel okay. The movie isn't boring or some big snooze fest. It's suspenseful, but whenever people describe it as a thriller, I kind of disagree because it's just not that scary to me. I had some of my friends sort of surprised to hear that this was supposed to be a thriller horror movie because you're not really startled by anything that happens. In my opinion, I think most people would honestly be bothered by the sequence that sort of just plays over and over again that we've already seen at the very beginning of the movie, and here it is taking up runtime in the very end of the movie. Those of you that have seen it already know which sequence I'm talking about, and it's not something that completely breaks the movie, but it sort of adds to the pile of everything that's sort of wrong with this movie. And I want to say for the final time that it is just my own personal opinion that I didn't like the movie. Everyone has their own reasons for not liking the movie, and everyone has their own reasons for liking it. I personally just didn't have all of a good time enjoying the actual movie. It's not wrong for a movie to ask questions or present questions to the audience. That's fine. My only issue is spending the whole movie asking the same questions over and over again and sort of finally answering it at the end, but also leaving it sort of open-ended and rhetorical. The movie has lots of ideas and they have little or no payoff most of the time. They answer the obvious questions, but there are so many different conflicts that have never had any resolve during the runtime, and it established so many different ideas that it might hold an audience member back from feeling satisfied by the ending. It is possible to end a movie on a cliffhanger and have the audience still feel satisfied, but it just isn't done here, and I feel like it could have been, which stinks. I just now remembered earlier I said none of the supporting actors are doing a good job, and I take that back now because I just remembered how funny I thought Nick Kroll was in this movie. That's all I take back right now. Overall, this isn't a bad movie. It's nothing offensive, and it does a lot of good things here. I just couldn't get past some of the things holding it back, and I don't think that I'm the only one on that. To me, it was mixing a lot of 5 out of 10 acting with 10 out of 10 elements and Florence Pugh's 11 out of 10 performance. So I think that most people would give it like a 7 out of 10 in this case, but for me, this score might be seen as biased, but I'm gonna go ahead and give Don't Worry Darling an awkward 5.5 out of 10. I should just go ahead and do a 5 out of 10, which I'll stand by until someone threatens to find where I live. Please don't kill me.